to train them. So kudos to him for being serious about his boxing.
Very intriguing fight coming up.
And I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Now, as we said, Francisco's going to be commentating from time to time, and he took a little bit. He took some offense to our answer to the question from last week's viewer who asked whether Margarito deserves a shot at Pacquiao. Now, I'm pretty sure that we both said no.
Yeah.
But we also both said, well, it's going to happen anyway. Margarito could have been suspended forever, but they didn't, and he's going to fight. Francisco feels that Margarito tried to cheat, and that he should be suspended forever, which is something that I could understand. I can understand. I can understand that, and he doesn't see himself ever. I'm not sure if he was a Margarito fan before the same Mosley fight, but he doesn't see himself cheering for Margarito, definitely. And I don't think he's that much of a Pac-Man fan either. But it's okay. It's okay. He's still cool with me.
Yeah. Okay. Of course. Yep.
Right. So I just wanted to put that out there. I mean, and I just want to say that the great thing is this is boxing, you know? The fighter gets fights because people pay to see it or people tune in. If you don't ever want to see Margarito fight again, just stop watching him.
True.
And once he sells...
That goes for the same thing. That goes for the writers that have been bashing and calling Margarito. If you don't like him, don't cover the fight. I know that's your job, but it's the same thing.
Right. In a way, if you ignore him, he'll die.
Exactly. The fight will just, he'll go away. And the whole, it's been beaten to death now. I understand there was a very big controversy about what went down with it. Margarito did try, or his trainer especially, Javier Capetillo at the time, he did try to cheat. There was a lot of stuff going on, a lot of controversy, but what's done is done. And the fight's being made, just go along with it. It's a very compelling matchup. And Pacquiao has not fought anyone this big in his career. Margarito knows that this is his redemption. This is his chance to turn everything around. He's with Robert Garcia, who, the former world champion, who's his trainer. Garcia is a very capable veteran. He knows how to work in the ring. He knows Margarito. Margarito's had an excellent camp. This is going to be a very good fight.
Yeah, and just the other thing that I want to bring up in terms of the punishment.
Yeah.
I think this also kind of highlights the problem with boxing in that we don't have one commission. And, if you're not licensed in California, you can go fight in Texas or somewhere else. I think there needs to be a national commission. That way, at least the punishments will be uniform. Because, look, Margarito did try to cheat. He didn't get away with it because he got caught before he got into the ring. But his opponent, Shane Mosley, did take steroids and didn't get caught, and he hasn't been punished for it. Yep. So, and people seem to be okay with that.
Same thing with Roy Jones.
Same thing with Roy Jones. Same thing with James Toney.
And other fighters.
Yeah. So, I'm not excusing the cheating. I'm just saying there needs to be a national commission. There needs to be uniform rules. And if you're not going to go after one guy, then they'll go after the guys that bother you. And I understand that Margarito was different because of the hand wraps. But there's just food for thought. But you know what? Most people only know Margarito for the hand wraps.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about Margarito before the hand wraps?
Antonio Margarito has been around for a long time. He's been a long-time contender. I remember watching him back around 2000, 2001 when he first knocked out the long-time contender David Kamau in the second round on ESPN, which at the time was a big upset. Margarito's a hard-nosed veteran. He's been through all the gyms. He's been through all the wars. He's beaten plenty of fighters. He won his first world title when in 2002, knocking out at the time the still very dangerous Antonio Diaz, which was a thrilling fight. He knocked out Andrew Sixheads Lewis, who was still very viable at the time in 2 rounds. Margarito's been there. The only time he's lost in that time period was when he lost a very competitive decision to
Paul Williams.
No, to Daniel Santos.
To Daniel Santos when he moved up.
When he moved up to junior middleweight, and Santos at the time was basically a super middleweight fighting there, and Margarito was outsized, outweighed, and he was coming on in the fight too before there was a technical decision. And Margarito since then, that's when he really came into his own. Was after the Santos fight. He ended up knocking out Hercules Caballos. He knocked out
Kermit Cintron.
That was his first major win. When he knocked out Cintron, that's when the boxing world really took notice of Antonio Margarito and was like, hey, we need to keep an eye on this guy. And from there, that's when he started beating guys and he became the avoided contender until he knocked out Miguel Cotto. And Floyd Mayweather refused to fight him. A bunch of people refused to fight him until he fought Paul Williams.
That would have been Floyd's biggest payday.
That would have been at the time.
That would have been $8 million.
And Floyd Mayweather still said no to that. And Antonio Margarito, up until he fought Shane Mosley, was known as the most dangerous and toughest, one of the best fighters in the world, one of the most dangerous and most avoided fighters in the world. And he wasn't himself in the Mosley fight. You can see it. There's been reports that he was a zombie during training. He wasn't really there. He wasn't working out. He had to lose a lot of weight.
He was doing that victory lap from the Cotto fight.
Yeah, exactly. He just wasn't really prepared for anything. He thought it was going to be a lap or a walk in the park. And then the whole hand wrap situation compounded everything else. So when he got into the ring, a very motivated Mosley just obliterated him. But now, Antonio Margarito is back, and he knows this is his last shot. This is his redemption. If he loses this fight, that's it. No one's going to want to deal with him anymore.
Now, Aris, I understand you have an interesting prognostication about this fight. Who are you picking?
I'm actually going with Margarito in this fight. I'm going with Margarito. I'm surprised myself because I've always picked Pacquiao. I picked him against De La Hoya and countless others, but you know what? I'm going with Margarito in this fight. The factors of Pacquiao's distractions, which, granted he always does have distractions, but they've even been more compound this time. He's not really thinking about boxing anymore. If Mayweather's not around, he's a congressman. He has a lot of things. And Margarito has been training like, the devil for this fight. He is ready. He knows this is his last shot. Roberto Garcia has really got him into the best shape of his career, and we're going to see. It's going to be a highly competitive fight, and at the same time, we're going to see if Pacquiao can really hurt him, because if Pacquiao can't hurt him, Margarito's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, that's the question, has Margarito's chin been, which used to be granite, been permanently cracked by
Pacquiao's going to test it, and we're going to find out.
And, if you've been watching 24/7 on HBO, you saw Alex Ariza compare Pacquiao's camp to Rocky's camp in Rocky III.
And that's what it was.
And for those of you who've never seen the classic Rocky III, that is when Rocky fought Clubber Lang, who was portrayed by Mr. T. And in that movie, Rocky was, training in a hotel. He had the open workouts. People would come and watch him jump rope and spar. And Mr. T was training in somewhere in a basement that had
solitary
one light bulb and one toilet that didn't work, I think. I remember that. And that was a sad movie because that was the one where Mick died right before the fight.
Mr. T threw him into a wall.
Right, right. So there have been some questions about how much focus Pacquiao has coming into this fight.
I mean, it's not even that he had all the distraction in the Philippines. We knew that was going to happen. He's had distractions in all of his other camps. The other thing is, he's actually had a few distractions at the wild card. There's been a couple of times Pacquiao took off from training to go, help out with a couple of, would-be
go stop the senator out in Nevada.
Exactly, and things like that. Pacquiao's being pulled in different directions. He's such a happy-go-lucky, lovable guy that he doesn't mind doing it. Also, we have to know he doesn't have that much of attention span. He's easily manipulated still.
Okay, but on the other side of the coin, this could just be Bob Arum trying to sell tickets, trying to sell pay-per-views. For all we know, Pacquiao could be just fine. I'm not sure what to make of it. I'm not ready to take the step that you have in declaring Margarito as your guy. But if I had to make one prediction about this fight, I would say what Clubber Lang said when they asked him, "What's your prediction for the fight, Clubber?" Pain. Somebody's going to get hurt in this fight. Margarito's going to get hurt. Pacquiao's going to hurt, and I'm looking forward to this.
I'm really looking forward to it. If Joshua Claudy mocked up Pacquiao and Claudy threw 5 punches in the fight, trust me, he's gonna, Pacquiao's going to get laced up by Margarito also. It's going to be a highly compelling fight.
Right. And, from there, we'll see. I mean, I think if Margarito loses, I'm not sure who's out there for him, although I think in this kind of a crazy way, because of the hand wraps, he'll always be a fighter that people are curious to see.
And at the same time, you know what? If he does beat Pacquiao in this fight, they're going to claim that his hand wraps are still messed up. They're never going to let that die. And that's one thing that's always going to be haunting him, no matter if he beats Pacquiao or not. There's always going to be an asterisk next to his name.
And, okay. This is Pacquiao's gimme fight if he wins it easy. It's kind of a tough gimme fight. But okay, let's be serious. The next fight we want to see Pacquiao in, Mayweather. And nobody else.
Yeah, agreed. I honestly believe that if Mayweather does not take this fight, Pacquiao should retire.
I think so, too.
I think so. I mean, there's no other fight out there for him anymore. He should just retire because Pacquiao has cleaned out all of his divisions. He's fought who he's going to fight. He can't move up anymore. Those guys are just too big. Who's he going to fight? Kelly Pavlik, It's like he can't fight anyone else there is. So, I mean, there's Shane Mosley, there's Andre Berto, but I mean, both of those guys, Berto's still kind of unproven, and Shane Mosley at the same time.
Right.
So it's like...
So let's see what happens in that fight. It's going to be another 2 exciting weeks in boxing and more. Next week we have a special guest.
That's right. New York boxing promoter Lou DiBella had Rocky fame. He's currently the promoter of Sergio Martinez, also Andre Berto. We're going to be happy to have him here. It's going to be a great time.
Great. So tune in next week when we interview Lou DiBella. Thank you for watching. FightCityNYC.com. look us up on Facebook. Take care, everybody.
Thank you.